Welcome to the Mormon to Medium podcast, where we'll talk about spirituality, the paranormal, religion, and my journey going from Mormon to medium. I'm Nanette Ride. Thanks for listening. Now let's go have some fun.
Don't be afraid. Close your eyes. There's a moon overhead, but the sun will rise. Blood on our lips, such a poisonous bite. The sound of our hearts go bump, bump, bump in the night.
Welcome to the Mormon to Medium podcast. I'm your host, Nanette, and I'm here with my hot husband, Brad.
Hello.
We hope you had a great week, and welcome to the show. We have an awesome guest with us today. Her name is Bri, and she's a personal friend, but also a client of mine. Welcome, Bri.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm so happy.
Oh my gosh, we're so happy you're here to visit with us. It's awesome.
She has got a really great story. I know a lot of you out there are struggling with grief and how to navigate that journey through grief, and we hope that we can shed some light on that today.
Well, and Bri, you've gone through a lot of crazy shit in the last few months, right?
Yeah, a lot.
And I know, well, I'm already getting emotional
I was
thinking
just going
about
to
it.
say,
I don't know.
I feel your son in here.
Oh my gosh, it's a lot.
I'm starting to bawl too.
I know.
Hi,
I know this might be a very heavy topic, and I just want you to know that this is a safe place, and if there's something you don't feel comfortable talking about, just say, hey, I don't want to talk about that, okay?
Okay, thanks.
But we would love to hear about your story, and if you can share it with everyone. I know you've got some really big dates coming up that you want to try to get some people out to help out.
Yes, we do. We have Stand Up for ACE. We have a website, justiceforacboy.com, and it's for the last court date for sentencing on April 11th at 10 a.m.
Now that's a big bomb to everybody. They're like, oh my gosh, court date, what's going on?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the story behind that?
Yes. So my beautiful son, Ace, he was in an accident June 30th, and it was a drunk driving accident. Him, his dad, and his sister were hit by a drunk driver. Not just a drunk driver, but an impaired driver, more than just alcohol. And so there was a third vehicle that was also included in the accident, and Ace did not survive. And so that is shocking and horrible as it sounds. Thankfully, I'm friends with Nanette.
Now, tell us how old Ace was.
Ace was 7, almost 8 years old. So
Okay.
he would have been 8 August 30th, and he passed away June 30th.
So just this year.
Just this year. Yeah, just this last summer.
Just this last summer.
Still such a little dude.
Such a little dude with such a big heart and so much energy.
And just like his mom.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he's your mini-me.
Kind of twins. I'm big me and he's little me.
That's
Oh,
so
man.
cool.
It is.
Do you know, I love that relationship because I can feel that you guys were so close. And,
Right.
you know, he was just like your everything, right?
Yeah, he's my whole world.
So how did you navigate that? I mean, I can't even imagine
Right.
that sorrow.
Right. I got the phone call and I was blow drying my hair trying to be ready for dinner, and I looked at the phone and he had been with his dad for like 4 or 5 days. His sister was here. It was summer vacation, and I was like, okay, maybe I should answer it. And then I did, and his dad was screaming in the phone, you need to get to the hospital, you need to get to Ace. And I screamed back in the phone, why? Where's Ace? What's going on? And it's 2 people screaming at each other, and I'm just like, okay, got to get my clothes on, got to get to the hospital. And so, yeah, it was shock the whole time. It was shocking. Just, I think any person's worst nightmare and any mother's worst nightmare for sure.
Absolutely. I can't even imagine losing a child.
And it's just shocking. When I got to the hospital, they were so kind, but it was just like, I just wanted to see him. And it's kind of like kid gloves. They put the safety gloves on and to try to hold you back so that you can prepare for what's going to happen. And it wasn't, I just wanted to be near him. You know, I know I'm not a doctor, I can't fix him, but I wanted to be by his side and hold his hand. And it was so shocking. I didn't know what to do. And I know I went home and I text messaged Nanette and I was like, can you please come over or call me? Or I don't even know where to go from here. I don't know how to navigate this. And Nanette and Brad were so sweet to come over in the morning and talk with me. And that helped. I mean, that was something that a lot of people don't have, is somebody to come over and just comfort them and talk to them about it.
Right. I remember, because it had happened that night, and I think you had texted about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Which is the wrong hour to text somebody.
Because I didn't get it until 7, because Brad snores, and so I wear earplugs.
Oh, right.
And so I didn't get it until 7 o'clock. And your text was, I lost my AC boy. And I'm like thinking, who's AC boy? Because, I mean, we'd not...
Yeah.
You hadn't really said your son's name. We talked about your son, but not really said his name much. And I'm like, and I'm still asleep halfway. I'm like, not really sure. What am I looking at here? And then I'm like, no, wait, that's her son. And then I texted you back and you're like, I just want to talk to my AC boy. Is all you said to me. And I was like, okay, you've been up all night. I started to feel you right away. I'm like, you've been up all night. Do you need coffee? And you're like, yes, please.
Yes.
So we went and got you coffee. And as we're driving to your house, Ace showed me what happened. Because you hadn't told me what happened.
Right.
So crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
So crazy.
And the messages to text people or to tell them, it's like, and I don't know if other mothers that have gone through this relate, but it's like you almost don't want to message it because then it makes it true.
Yeah.
You know, to
It's
say,
real, right?
to like message like Ace is gone, or, you know, and even the words died, you know, that for me is just like knife to the stomach. It's just, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was hard, but I had to tell you because I needed to talk with you.
You're like,
I was
I'm
on a
talking
mission.
to my son right now.
I know. I feel bad now. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, but I think at that moment it was like your world stands still. You don't even know what time it is. It's so crazy. It's like time and everything is a blur. It's like, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, I feel completely honored that I'm the one that popped into your head when you lost him.
Right.
Like, sorry. Because I wished I would have had somebody that would have been, I could have gotten a hold of and been like, I want to talk to Corey right fucking now.
I know, I was so lucky.
You know?
In another lucky
it would have made navigating those horrible first days a lot easier, at least for me. But I was like, wow, she called me.
You're so
people.
sweet.
But it was just, I'm so honored that you did, and that all the things that came of it, I stand in sacred awe.
Well, thank you. I feel the same way about you. I was so lucky to have you to be able to reach out to, because I think it did help with such a horrific circumstance, and still circumstance. I mean, it does not go away.
No.
But being able to have a little bit of, I know we'll go into it later, but being able to just have a couple answers to know that he is okay, and to kind of know about the accident, and like, okay, every mom's worst nightmare, but to know that your son is on the other side and okay is...
Oh, he's so okay.
Right. More than okay.
Yeah,
More than okay.
That's got to be a huge comfort in such a traumatic episode.
Sure.
And I know that you've also thrown yourself into some activism, right?
Yeah.
Fighting and bringing awareness to the hazards of impaired driving, right?
For sure.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. I've been talking with Mothers Against Drunkers. They've kind of paired up with me.
MAD.
MAD.
Which is really an interesting acronym for a bunch of women, because a lot of people get this image of just angry women anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, though, it's so telling, because I mean, you got those drunk drivers that are harming people, harming family members, harming your son.
Right.
Gonna piss off some mamas, and you do
yeah.
not want to
Yeah.
be pissing off mamas.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like you think about that, like Mama
Yes.
Bear. You know, don't mess with Mama Bear, because
sure.
it's going to cause problems.
And I think I'm number one with Ace. Anyone that knows me and knows Ace knows that I was totally his Mama Bear. I was always fair, but this whole thing, if I could have bubble wrapped him and put him in 3 bubbles and never, I mean, this is just crazy when these kinds of things happen. You can't prevent it.
No.
You really can't. I'm lucky Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, they have a chapter that's over about 3 states that they don't have each state anymore. They have to do a couple states together. But the advocate that speaks with me and has helped with advice or kind of navigate different things, they have such great information and good resources. So that's really cool. The other part of it is just Ace was always so positive and just always lit up the room anytime he came into one. And so I say that every mom says that about their children, but he was definitely had a different dynamic and was so special from the moment he was born. And so for me, I didn't know how to go about it with justice, because I just felt like I hate the hatefulness or anything that's negative, but when I've spoken to Mothers Against Drunk Drivers and when I've spoken with Nanette and a lot of other people, we have to stand up for Ace, because he is standing up for the innocent out there that our lives are taken by these people. The Mothers Against Drunk Drivers said it's not impaired driving, because impaired driving would be if you can't see or you lost your leg in war. Like, these people are actually making decisions to get behind the wheel, and it's deliberate.
Yeah,
So
you're talking not just drinking alcohol. You're talking taking drugs or prescription drugs or whatever, being impaired in other ways as well as alcohol, right?
yes, and and in this circumstance, in Ace's accident, the driver wasn't just drunk. He had other things that were going on, a cell phone, so distracted driving, and he also had drug usage and was over the limit, intoxicated.
And this was not his first rodeo.
No, it wasn't. And so that's something that's really hard to swallow.
So how many times has he done this before that he's been caught and convicted of?
I think in another state it's been at least twice.
Wow.
So that's hard.
So tell us what you're looking at for a sentence for him, because he's not going to spend much time and he's going to get out, and we're all going to need to be careful because he's going to hurt somebody else.
Exactly. And that's the thing that's hard. If he went away for life, it wouldn't ever bring Ace back. But what my goal is to save others that he might harm. Because, when you have a history of this, sometimes you just keep repeating it. I hope that doesn't happen, but why give someone the chance? So we're looking 3 to 5. Like the max is about 4.5 years.
Wow.
Which is really hard, because with good behavior, he'll be out in 1 year.
Don't you think they should start at like his age and do 7 to life?
Yeah.
Because he's 7?
That's what I mean.
Like,
anything.
anything
more.
better. But yeah.
And it's hard. They go off of a matrix in the Utah law. They have they go off of their prior offenses, and then they go off of what level their offense that they currently in this accident committed. And then they do get to decide if they're going to run it concurrent or consecutive.
Yeah.
So we haven't gotten the actual sentence yet. That's why we're trying to encourage everyone to show up and wear orange on the court date. The judge gets the final say. He's gotten a plea deal. He's signed it. He's pled guilty, which is all great, but he is guilty of what he's done.
He got a plea deal. Mm-hmm. So not even going to jury.
Mm-mm. And so that's hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we need to light up the courtroom with people that are supporting Ace and can be a voice and a body for Ace, right?
Right.
So this is April 11th?
April 11th.
At 10 a.m. And where is it at?
It is at the courthouse, downtown.
Tabernacle, right?
Tabernacle.
In
Yep.
St. George, Utah.
In St. George, Utah. And we're all wearing orange to represent how much we love Ace and that we have a voice for Ace.
Because orange was Ace's favorite color.
Yes.
So it's not because...
Sorry, I just everybody should
Yeah.
know that, right? I'm just kidding.
Hello?
Yeah, it's orange. Orange is his favorite
Yeah.
color.
Not because inmates wear orange, but because it was Ace's
Oh, sorry. Yes. Right. No, orange was Ace's favorite color. And so everything of his was orange. So we thought if everyone shows up in orange, that would really represent Ace and the love that we have for him. So,
I love that. We'll be there. Well, Brad won't
Well,
because he's out of
yeah.
town, but I will be there.
well, thank you.
I guess that's why
So
Ace's
good.
sticker, which we actually
Oh,
have
yeah.
one right behind you there, is
yeah.
orange, right?
Uh-huh. That's right.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. If you're in St. George or you're someplace that someone's traveled, it's
Like Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, yes. Ace left a ripple here. It's an orange sticker, and I've put them all over town and here, and other people have put them places. That represents him and his ripple.
Explain that
What's
ripple.
a ripple?
His ripple, his ripple is a ripple of love. All of us create ripples, and it's crazy how they all kind of fall into each other. And it's sometimes coincidence and sometimes not. So,
Oh, no. It's so not.
it's not a coincidence. I know.
Okay, so get this.
Yes.
I'm
Go
gonna-
ahead. Please take it, Nan, because I'm, tongue-tied.
So Bri gets a hold of me. This is just a couple of months ago, and she is like, "So let's go to lunch. We always do sushi. That's like our thing."
Yes.
And she's like, "Let's go to lunch. I have a story to tell you. Do you remember?" The
Yes.
story?
Okay.
Okay. So apparently, her best friend. They kind of had a falling out a few years back, and they each went their way. But when Ace was killed, her best friend came back into the picture.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. And you were telling your best friend about me,
Yes.
and me and her best friend are cousins.
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
It is such a small world.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like we know each other really well, actually. We're close cousins.
Yeah. Craziness.
So
yeah,
crazy.
I was
It's a
sitting on
small
my
world.
couch and I was telling her our story and how you helped me with some things with Ace. And she's like, what? Okay, tell me her name. And so I did. And then she's like, and tell me her last name. She's like, pull up a picture. And I was like, I mean, like there's a lot of, a lot of nouns around. And so I show her and she's like, oh my gosh, that's my cousin. It's so crazy. Life is crazy.
Ripples.
Ripples. Yep.
Bump into each other. And Ace's ripple has hit back into me several times from other people. So it really is a small world. If we watch for each other's ripples, wow.
Yeah.
I think we'll all be amazed if we can
Yes.
just see how our lives really do matter.
They do.
Well, and
And-
even like Aunt Denalyn hit you up
Okay, so Brad has an Uncle Bob. Bob's his uncle.
just like that. Bob's your uncle.
Just like Bob. So Uncle Bob is actually a real estate agent here in St. George, and he helped us get our home that we have right now. So Bob is way, way cool, and he has a hot wife named Donna Lynn, and we love hanging out with them. But we went to Brad's grandma's funeral, and so this is Bob's mom. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Bob's mom. So me and Donna Lynn were standing in grandma's house and we're talking, and they tell me that their daughter Mikkel, they had her body moved, and her body is put right next to Ace.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And she was telling me about it. It's so funny because they're still like, this was how many years ago that they lost their daughter? Like a long time.
Yeah, it's
she
been like
was
20
killed in a
years.
car accident in the Virgin River Gorge. And anyways, she was asking me, she's like, well, how do you know Ace? And so I tell her our story, and she's just astounded. Like, are you joking me? Like this little boy comes to you and like tells you stuff to tell his mom, and like, I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, he told me all the way down to what he's supposed to wear in his casket and what he likes and all the things, all the way down to, Mom, I need you to do this, and this is my bear, and this is my ring, and blah, all the things. Is that the bear, by the way?
Yeah, this is the bear. And I brought the ring because I finally found the ring. Sorry, Ace, I finally found it. But yeah, isn't that so crazy?
It's so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still like always shocked. When,
Okay, I'm going to pause for just a minute. You've got to explain the bear in the ring.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
Okay, so Nanette tells me, I guess I don't even know how to explain it, but Ace was speaking to me, and or maybe you were speaking to me. I can't remember. It's a lot, but it's very true, and it gives me chills. But Ace told me, there's a brown bear, and when you miss me, hold it tight and sleep with it, hold it tight. I'm there with you, always in your heart. And I was thinking, oh, that's so sweet, Ace. And then I was like, what the hell is he talking about? A brown bear. We have every stuffed animal under the sun, but not a brown bear. And I just kept looking and looking and looking. And one day I finally found this picture, and it's like, I don't know if it's the one I brought, but we went to the North Pole, and that's this picture that we were at. And it's this cool whole ordeal up in a part of Arizona. Anyways, so we go. They had a bear factory there, and I forgot. And so in the picture that he has at my house, that was on some flyers and some things to do with I look and I see the brown bear in his hands, and I was like, oh, is a brown bear from the North Pole? Where is that? And I couldn't find it forever, and I finally found it. And then the ring was a ring his sister gave him, and I have it with me. but it's this little blue ring. So
and
cute.
you have a video of him wearing the ring.
I have a video of him wearing the ring, and I remember he used to like put it on his finger because it was too big for his fingers. And I would always wonder, like, what is he doing with that ring? But I never tried to make him feel weird about it because I was like, maybe he's like wants to wear rings now. I have no idea. And so, but then I found it the other day, and then this is a little heart that he was buried with that I have it in his suit jacket, and so I have one of my own so we can all be together.
And it's orange.
And it's orange.
I love it.
I forget what the stone is, but it's beautiful. So yeah, it's crazy because he told Nanette those things, that the teddy bear and the ring, and there was a couple other things. I mean,
There
what
was
he
a lot
wanted
of
to wear.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could list them all.
Like his orange tennis shoes and
Yes, his orange tennis shoes. He didn't want a tie or a bow
didn't want
tie.
a bow tie, no. And he told you to get rid of his virtual reality stuff, like his
Yeah, give it to
to
some.
give it to some other kid that can enjoy it.
Right, because
Like-
I wanted to put all of his favorite things in his casket, and he was like, "Well, I don't need that where I'm at. I'm fine. Give
Yeah.
it to someone else that could use it." And I was like, "That's wow, okay, really grown up." What else?
He's a great kid.
Oh, thank you.
I'll tell you something. He's the only spirit that I have ever channeled.
Right,
So
that's what it's called.
He literally, so a reading is when the spirit comes and like stands next to you and just tells me shit. It's like having a conversation, and then I just tell you what they're saying, and then you say something out loud and they can hear you,
Right.
and then I just answer you, and it's like this conversation. You can't see them, but I can see them,
Right.
type of thing. But channeling is they come into your energy and settle, and it's almost like my spirit goes, oh, okay, yeah, you're a little kid and you're ace, you're cool. And so my spirit like scooches over and lets him just start talking to you. And I still haven't gone over our texts that when he was talking to you.
I know.
I was literally watching a show and he's like texting you. I don't even know for how long,
Right.
or what he said to you, because it's not my conversation. It's none of my business.
Right.
But I haven't gone back yet and looked at it yet. But you said that he mentioned the ripples. You said that he
Yes.
mentioned stuff about how he wanted things on his funeral, and
It was crazy to have a
details and-
conversation with him that way, because I knew it wasn't you. I knew it was him.
it was
because
not me.
his personality. You would never know the like banter we had between each other, or just the funny things that he would know to tell me that you've never even met him before meeting
No.
him as a spirit.
I'm having full body chills over
I
here.
know.
Holy cow. Are you?
Yes, I am. Yes. And I love it because
I
it
love
means
it
he's
too.
here.
Oh, I know he's here. We knew
Yes.
when we both teared up that he was
Here.
he's here. But you brought him with you.
Well, and I'm sure you're around you all the time. Like you probably see signs everywhere,
Yeah.
right?
Well, orange cars, even when I took a trip to Puerto Rico for a while. And it's like, there's no way in this little tiny town that there would be, of all types of cars, a Maserati, orange Maserati SUV thing. I'm like, are you joking? Hi,
That's even a
Ace.
thing?
Yeah.
A Maserati SUV?
Yeah, they're like those mini SUVs.
Orange.
Wow.
Orange. How does it even fit down the street? It's just crazy. Or just trucks, or like those big white Dodge vans, a big orange one, and then another, like 4 orange cars in a row. It's not a coincidence. It's,
Well, and you were at the beach one time and you were talking to me and you said an orange balloon just floated past you
yes.
at the beach.
Yep. And
Like-
an orange iguana. Like, it would happen all the time. I tell people these things, they'll probably think I'm insane. But I've seen it. I have pictures of it. It's just like, I'm always like, hi, Ace. I know you're here. You know?
So he definitely lets you know he's still around.
Yeah. And I know everybody wants to believe those things, but how can you not when you can see it with your eyes? It's
Well,
crazy.
and you can feel it with your heart. You can feel he's near you. I mean, I know you've gotten really good at being able to start to communicate with him.
Yes.
And know when he's around and know when he's not.
Right.
But most of the time he's with you.
Yeah.
Especially when these things like legally are going on and it's directly related with his death. Like if he were standing right here, and he would want his death to mean something and for him to be able to save other little kids.
Exactly.
And so you're being that conduit. You're standing on the literal shoulders of an angel
Right.
to get this stuff done. So there's nothing going to touch you. Like you're untouchable.
Right. And
because of him.
and that gives me a lot of confidence in trying to, push this forward and stick up for him. At first, I was kind of a little hesitant, like, I just don't want to rock the boat. Okay, we're going to go with this. We're going to go with that. But honestly, it meant something what happened, we all mean something, and we have to save other people. That's what it's about, saving other people's lives.
Yeah. Well, and there has to be some element of justice, right? It has
Right.
to be, there has to be a balance for what that action was that this person did. Because you're right. It was a deliberate choice to go,
Yes.
I'm going to get high, I'm going to drink, and then I'm going to go drive my car.
Yeah.
That's a very deliberate choice. And if someone makes that choice,
Right.
they know that they are much more likely to hurt someone.
Right. And
So-
it was, sorry to interrupt
Oh,
you.
no, you're
It
fine.
was explained to me in a way that you make these choices to get intoxicated or use drugs, and then you get in a weapon, 1 ton, 2 ton weapon, and you go out, and yes, you are going to, hopefully you won't kill anybody, but that's not the chances. You get in a weapon that's 1 or 2 tons and you drive impaired. And so that's when it was said to me like that. I mean, of course, as a mom, I have all my feelings and judgments, and it's just like, oh, I have to stand up for him. I have to have a voice. I have to be his voice.
Well, and you also get to be the voice of all of the other kids' moms too.
Yep.
Right.
That want their babies to be safe when they're driving, because
Yes.
I know here in St. George, there are a lot of impaired drivers and people that run those stoplights all the time.
All the
like they
time.
blow through stuff. Like the light will change and somebody will go and turn and then somebody will bust right through the lights. Like people aren't aware and they're not paying attention. So you get to be that voice for the alive children and your sweet AC boy.
That's right.
And it's like Ace is like their guardian. That's what I'm feeling like. Like he's like their guardian angel. Like no more kids are going to die like this, Mom.
Yeah.
I refuse.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly, it gives me goosebumps. But yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous how easily a car accident or any, like, life is so precious. And this was a residential area where this accident happened. The speed limit's 25 miles an hour. I mean, you can't even, in your mind, I just think of all the adventures him and I have gone on. And we've been in dangerous situations where we're like driving in the dark in the car on the interstate. Or, I mean, to me, that's a dangerous situation compared to a residential 25 miles per hour neighborhood on at 5 o'clock on a Friday.
Yeah.
It's, it's
Right.
crazy the timing,
Right.
So,
Well, it's unbelievable just how fragile life can be and how you don't realize you're just not guaranteed another minute. You don't know what's going to happen and how
Right.
I think it emphasizes how important it is to let your loved ones know.
yes.
Let them know how important they are to you and let them know how much you love them because you're not guaranteed another minute.
You're not. And that was what was so hard for me. I just kept looking at him in the emergency room and saying, we had so many dreams. Like, you're my dream. I lived through you. I had all these dreams for you. And all the nurses are standing around us. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. As if one of them could bring him back. I'm like, I have all these dreams for you, Ace. I can't even believe this. And he was just so at peace. He had a neck brace on, so they couldn't take that off. But his little hair was perfect because he always had to have it perfect. And anyways, he just was so peaceful. And I just kept saying to him, okay, I know one day this will make sense, trying to keep myself calm because I was kind of the leader of the whole room of relatives and his father and everybody. And it was like, all right, everyone, take a deep breath. I can't lose it because everyone else is losing it. So yeah, that was difficult. But yeah, it was just like, these dreams that we had, it didn't make sense, but you don't get another minute. You don't when it's gone. And so that really makes you look at things and think, I wish I wouldn't have spanked you that one time, or I wish I wouldn't have grounded you, or, but I mean, we can't have kids running around like spoiled brats either. So I don't know.
And he was not a brat.
No, he
At
wasn't.
all.
He had good manners, and
He
that's
did.
because you got to have discipline. But no, he was a sweetheart. He was so kind. But he came about that naturally. He always had, like, his little friend Caden. He would always stick up for him because the kids would bully him and try to take his chocolate milk in the school line. Or Ace would come home and tell me, yeah, these kids were trying to be mean to Caden. And I told him, I'm his friend and you leave him alone. Just like always sticking
Good
up for
for
the
him.
underdog. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I could tell you stories, lots of stories. He's a talker like me. So he would come home and just tell me all about his day.
I want you to pay attention to what you just said. He stuck up for other kids, right?
Right. With the other kids that were underdogs.
Okay. wouldn't he do the same thing on the other side of the veil?
Oh, for
He's
sure.
going to keep doing it.
For
And so
sure.
he's prodding you along to be that person for
Oh,
him.
for sure.
So I think it's so beautiful, your guys' connection, because I know you talk about him all the time.
I
Like
do.
he's right here.
Right.
Because he's right here.
Yeah. Because I refuse to say he's not. I don't know what it is. It's just, I know he's here with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really prove he's here. Someone can't see him, but I refuse to say I had a son or I was a mother, because I still am a mother, and he still is my son.
Yes.
And I think other moms need to know that they don't have to give, it wasn't my choice or Ace's choice for him to be gone, to pass away, but we can still be together because we're still connected. you know?
Yeah.
So,
It's just learning to have a different relationship with him.
for
That's
sure.
all.
Yeah.
But you still feel him. And you know what? I see him. So not
Yeah.
everybody has to see him. And when you've shifted in your grief, you'll be able to see him too, because you do all your other things.
I know, right? I'm working on it.
You're
All the
working
books,
on
all
it.
the things. I know. It's so funny.
You're amazing. You're amazing. And you're such a light in this world. Just know that your journey matters, and it's going to touch so many souls.
Oh, thank you.
Ace's
I-
Ripple, Bri's
Yeah.
Ripple.
Yes, thank you guys. Both of you guys are a great support to be able to speak with, and I'm honored to be on your podcast. I mean, think of the other mothers that don't get a voice, don't get to talk to people and talk about their children. We need to hear about everybody and
Yeah.
make the awareness.
Every child
Yeah.
matters. Every life matters.
That's right.
Tell us the website again.
It is justiceforacboy.com,
Okay.
and that's ACEY boy.com.
And does that tell the story and
It
and
tells the
some
story,
more background?
keeps updates. Yep, it has everything on there. The other links to our Instagram, Facebook. We have these stickers, the ripple stickers. Ace left a ripple here. We're working on getting the QR code on them so people can leave them and then eventually can take a picture, and then everyone can see around the world where they've placed them.
I love
So-
that.
That would be very cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could make the heart into a QR code.
Right, yeah. And then they can see like a video of him, like that video of him and I being twins, big me and little me, and all that. Then they get to see who he is,
Yes. I love that.
I think it's
I
kind
love
of
it. I
fun.
love it.
Yes. All the support. I also want to say thank you to everybody in our community. You guys, everybody in St. George and in Salt Lake. Everyone has been so great to support me, support Ace. And I'm just so grateful that people have, had podcasts or listened to me. Even the stickers were made by a good friend of mine, Will Ducrest. And it's just like that was so thoughtful. I'm very, very grateful. So thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, we're happy we were here for you, and you've always got a safe place. You
Thank
know
you.
that. You've always got a safe place to land here.
Thank you.
We're soul sisters. I don't
Yeah.
have to say any more than that.
Yes, we are. We're soul sushi sisters. Sushi.
Soul,
I can't
soul
talk.
sushi sisters. That is
Sushi.
hard to say.
I loved it. Okay, so one of the first times Nanette and I went to lunch, we'll make it a little more lighthearted now. The robot. Remember when it came to our table and served us sushi?
Yes.
And we're like, oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. No, we're like living in the fun days.
We're like fancy.
The
Fancy.
creepy little sushi robot that
Yes.
walks around.
Yes.
Yeah. It's unnerving. I don't like my food served by an electronic device.
And it sings happy birthday, too.
Yes.
Did you guys know that?
It sang to some people when we were there a few
Oh,
weeks
okay.
back, and I was like, what in the hell is this? It comes rolling in, and yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Now,
Kinda
R2D2, that's a different story. If it was a cool droid like that, I'd be like, okay, this is awesome. This is the best place ever.
cool. Right.
But it's not. It's like this clunky square, well, as Nan would say, a clunky piece of shit.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so funny. This cracks me up.
Bri, I've got a quick question.
Okay.
So you talked about it going to a plea deal. What made the attorney that was prosecuting this choose a plea deal over actually going to a trial and making sure that there was more teeth?
Right. So there's a lot of dynamics to it. The main thing he wanted was for the defendant to plead guilty or for us to get a guilty verdict. He was afraid if we went to trial, jury members can be unpredictable. And so he didn't want him to get it's hard. It would have been the same charges if it would have been a plea deal and the defendant pled guilty as opposed to went to trial. He wouldn't get any more sentencing. There wouldn't, just because the way that Utah is, the laws, the matrix works, that it would be 3 to 4.5, unless the judge is to make a different sentence for him.
So what did he get from the plea deal?
I think a couple charges were dropped that were insignificant, because there were things on there like this guy didn't have a driver's license, insurance. There was a couple other things. I think
He didn't even have insurance, so you guys had to pay for all the expenses.
right. Yep.
What a sack of shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that's difficult. All of it's difficult. No.
Yeah,
And-
it sounds like he was just very irresponsible all
Yeah.
the way around.
Well, and the other thing is, and I haven't gotten into this yet legally, but someone owns that vehicle and they let him use it, even though he doesn't have a driver's license. And so they're enabling him. Maybe they weren't in the car driving with him, but they allowed him to use it unless he stole it. So
Right.
there's another avenue. And that's the side of me that's like the mama bear. That's like, listen, But
You're
yeah,
right, though. You're absolutely right. And they should be held accountable.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm glad he pled guilty to the plea deal. I'm happy about that. I mean, he did commit the crime and he did leave the scene. So he hit Ace. He hit Ace's dad's vehicle. Another car hit Ace again. So Ace got hit 2 times. And the way that the cars were spinning, it was 90 miles velocity. So miles per hour. So Ace got hit with a 90 mile per hour impact. I mean, there's no child that can survive that.
Yeah.
Not even a person.
No.
No.
Yeah,
And so-
and what Bri's talking about is after the first hit, as the car was rotating, you take the speed of that rotation with the speed of the car that hit them, and it added
In
up
the
to
other,
90.
in the next lane, because
Yeah.
there were 3 cars total. And she was harmed as well. The girl was harmed.
So
That
where
was
did this
right.
guy go? He just
He
Did
just
he
backed
run
his
or-
vehicle up and drove off.
it still drove.
He drove, he drove off to, I want to say, uptown towards Costco. So it happened over in Washington, kind of over by Main Street, off one of those off roads. And he took that back road up by Costco and just drove up by whatever that burger place is over by Costco, Freddy's or something.
Yeah.
And there was a girl and her husband that saw him and called into the police and reported him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank God for good people
Yes.
who saw that, because he could have just disappeared.
Vanished. Yeah. Well, and then he came back to the scene, but his license plate happened to be at the scene. So he was coming back
Oh.
to retrieve it. So he says that he came back because he felt he wanted to say goodbye to his children and he felt bad. So he came back to the scene. But really, he was coming to pick up his license plate. But I don't know that for sure. I mean, I'd have to
Wow.
talk
That's
to with him.
speculation.
That's speculation. But, yeah.
But he knew he was going away
Yeah.
because of this. I mean, if he's saying, well, I wanted to say goodbye to my kids, he knew something was coming down.
Yeah.
He's been through the game.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Not the first time. So, yeah. And I think that's the part that's hard. And as much it's unforgivable. I mean, it's forgivable because I have a big heart and I know that we have to forgive things, but people have to be held accountable. So,
Absolutely. There's justice that has
Well,
to be.
how do you hold those two values together? You've got justice
Mm-hmm.
and forgiveness, and how does that all work together? That's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like going, I want your balls, right?
yeah.
But I also forgive you. It's okay.
Well,
You
and
know,
that's
how
what's
does-
hard. From the very beginning, I think I've talked with Annette about it, and I'm like, I don't have room in my heart to because I think sometimes when you have such deep hurt or anger, if you hold on to that, you can feel it, you can feel that emotion, but you hold on to that and it just spills into everything you love. For me, he doesn't deserve that much of my love, that much of my energy. I've just let it go. What will happen to him will happen, and I will stand up for Ace and fight for him till my last breath. But he is not going to overtake my energy, or I don't have a hatred for him. He made a bad decision, and I want to make sure he can't make another one. So
That is so wise.
Awesome.
Like my friend
said.
Yeah, my friend Kurt would be like, "You're really mature, very mature." And
it's too hard to be that angry. You know, that's the easiest answer.
It's true.
You know, it's just too hard.
That's a difficult
Well, and when you're
emotion.
that angry, like you said, it eats you away.
Oh, man.
And so you're
Yeah.
literally giving him your power
Yes.
by staying that angry, but
Yeah.
by releasing it and you just working on you and having your relationship with your son
Yes.
and being his voice and the voice for other children is taking your power back and making it grow.
Totally.
So he has zero power in your life. And I think that that is an awesome place to come from.
Yeah.
So
Thank
yeah.
you. Thanks.
What's in the future for Bri? Once you get through with the trial or the hearing and sentencing and stuff, what's next?
Well, I'm working on two things. I'm working on two different books. I'm going to travel, obviously. Everyone knows I love to travel, but I love the ocean. But I'm writing a children's series for ACE. And I've talked with MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. I want to feature, the main character is Ace, and he's going to have his mohawk like he's always had and have different colors and make that kind of fun and kind of tell the stories off of these live adventures that him and I have gone on through our, you know, the lucky 7 years, almost 8 that I had him. That we were able to, as a single mom, him and I were able to go kayaking at Gunlock or go to the ocean or go, you know, all these fun adventures a lot of moms don't get to do with their children because they're busy and they have other kids, things like that. We're going to do the first book dedicated to Ace, and then the series, on the series, different books, we're going to have featured other kids that have been killed by drunk drivers or impaired driving. Dedicated.
Cool.
I just think it's fun. It's a good way to help these other moms and Mothers Against Drunk Driving honor their children and feel like, because you do feel sometimes like people forget, you know, about them. And I know that feeling. It's like Ace is still a person and he's still here, even though he's not at Christmas. We can still have him in a picture or, you know, and so I want to honor them and honor their story too. So I thought if we dedicate the book to them in the beginning, people can see that and then they can see, you know, the story, whatever it is. Ace is the hero and here's the adventure, here's the lesson in it. And it just helps to inspire little kids to, you know, dream big.
I love that so much.
That is awesome,
What a
Bri.
legacy.
What a really, really cool project to work on.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see and to read these books.
I know. I can't wait either. It's like, it's the one thing that I can do to honor Ace and still feel like he's alive, you know, with me. And I know he's here with me, but it's a way that I can put that love into a positive kind of channel. And the other one is I'm working on a book, kind of like a diary of my experiences with Ace and our communication from the moment he was gone and navigating that to help other moms, because it's just the unthinkable. You can't even imagine the heartbreak and how do you live on with a broken heart? You know, how do you? Well, you do it in honor of them, you know, in honor of their memory. And so it's kind of just my blueprint of how you do this. You know, you can take it or leave it, but if it helps you, that's great. So that's
I
kind
love
of what
that.
I'm.
And so many will be able to draw some strength and light from that. I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, it's important to share those stories. I think so many people go, I don't want that out there. I don't want people to think I'm dumb, or I don't want people to judge me for my emotions. But I think that there is a desire by most people to see that reality, right? To see that rawness and know that they're not alone, because we all have that.
Oh, for sure.
We all have that. And if we experienced what you did, we would be in that situation and go, shit, now what? So
Right.
I love that you're going to do something like that to help others.
Thank
That's
you.
very admirable.
Thank you. Yeah, there are moments. I appreciate you saying that. I feel like you feel alone. You feel very alone. You feel isolated. And thankfully, I have support. And I hope everybody has the support that I have. But I'm so grateful for Nan. I'm so grateful for all the people that check on me all the time when I'm like, I just want to be alone. And they're like, okay, well, you're going to come to lunch anyways. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to lunch. Or just inspiring to listen to my ideas and these crazy, you know, dreams I have. Well, if we don't have dreams, what do we have? So
Yeah,
thank you
absolutely.
guys.
You're welcome. Do you want to draw a card and see how
Yeah.
things look for you?
Sure.
Do you want the normal tarot deck or do you want the shamanic tarot deck?
So,
Ooh.
which
She wants the shamanic deck.
Ooh. La la.
All right.
This is the one.
okay, so take a
You're going to read it.
yep.
Okay.
We're all about empowering
So
people here.
tell us what the card looks like, what it says.
Okay. It kind of looks like a kaleidoscope, and it's a spiral. It says spiral.
Yeah.
Does the number have a significance?
It's just in the book.
Oh, it has the meaning.
But if I'm remembering right, those are scales.
Oh, scales. Okay.
Yeah, like
like
serpent
reptile
scales.
Yes,
Yeah.
they look like it. Very pretty.
So tell us what you think that means. What does that mean to you? When you look at that, what do you go, oh, hey.
I don't know. It means a lot of things, probably. Kind of like a staircase into the future.
Oh my God.
Let's hear it. What is it? Let's hear it.
This is so you. Oh my gosh.
This is crazy.
From galaxies in the sky to diminutive shells at the beach. The spiral is found extensively in the natural world. Its shape in the form of a coiled serpent has been used since ancient times as a tool for growth and transformation.
So
Wow, that's perfect.
cool. That is.
It talks about you shedding your old skin and renewing yourself.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
Perfect
Yeah.
card.
So perfect for you. Hello, seashells.
Hello.
Yeah,
seashells.
I think that's the perfect place to go ahead and wrap things up. Bri, thank you so much
Thank
for
you, guys.
talking with us. We really appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. It's been an honor and I just love you. Listeners, if you are around on April 11th at 10 a.m. in St. George and can make it to support Bri and Ace, then I'm going to cry. Holy shit. Please show up so that he has support and she has support of our community, and this person that killed Ace can see that in strength. There's strength in numbers.
Yep.
And there is love among our community for Ace and for Bri.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for listening. Go check out our new website,
Woohoo!
Mormon2mediumpodcast.com. And we'll see you
On the other side of the veil.